ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to talk about something that might make you uncomfortable, something that challenges the way many of us have been taught to connect with others. It's about the idea of keeping parts of your personal life sacred, protected, and unshared with anyone and everyone. Now, let me be clear, this isn't about isolation. It's not about building walls that shut people out of your life. It's about boundaries. It's about choosing what parts of your story you share with whom and for what purpose. Because here's the truth, your personal life is not a public event. It is your sacred ground. Your vulnerability is one of the most sacred parts of who you are. It's the part of you that carries your fears, your dreams, your struggles, and your raw, unfiltered emotions. It's the part of you that feels exposed when you open up to someone, that hesitates before sharing your innermost thoughts and feelings. And yet, in our quest for connection, we often feel compelled to share these vulnerable pieces of ourselves, sometimes with people who haven't earned the right to see them. Protecting your vulnerability doesn't mean closing yourself off from the world. It doesn't mean bottling up your feelings or pretending that you're invincible. It means understanding the value of your personal experiences and recognizing that not everyone is entitled to access them. There's a profound difference between being authentic and being indiscriminate about what you share. Authenticity is about being true to yourself, but it doesn't require you to bare your soul to everyone. When you share your vulnerability with someone, you're offering them a glimpse into the most private and delicate parts of your life. You're essentially saying, here's a piece of me that I don't show to just anyone. Please handle it with care, but not everyone will. Some people might dismiss your feelings, betray your trust, or exploit your openness for their own gain. This is why it's so important to be selective about who you allow into your inner world. Protecting your vulnerability starts with self-awareness. It requires you to take a step back and ask yourself some hard questions. Why do I feel the need to share this? What am I hoping to gain from it? Do I trust this person to respect and honor what I'm about to share? These questions are not meant to discourage you from connecting with others. Rather, they're designed to help you make more intentional choices about how and with whom you connect. Sometimes the urge to share comes from a place of seeking validation. We want someone to affirm our experiences, to tell us that our feelings are valid and that we're not alone. This is a natural human desire, but it's important to recognize that not everyone is equipped to give you the validation you're looking for. Some people might be too caught up in their own struggles to offer you the empathy and support you need. Others might lack the emotional maturity to handle your vulnerability with the care it deserves. And that's okay, it doesn't make them bad people. It just means they're not the right audience for this part of your story. Another reason we might feel compelled to share is to lighten the emotional load we're carrying. When we're going through something difficult, it can feel like the weight of it is too much to bear alone. Sharing can provide temporary relief, but it's crucial to consider the long-term consequences. If you share with someone who doesn't respect your vulnerability, you might end up feeling even more burdened. The act of sharing doesn't automatically make the load lighter. It depends on who you're sharing it with. Trust is the foundation of any relationship where vulnerability can safely exist. Trust isn't something that should be given freely. It's something that must be earned over time. It's built through consistent actions, through showing up for one another in meaningful ways. When someone proves that they can handle your vulnerability with care and respect, that's when you know they've earned the right to see more of your inner world. Until then, it's perfectly okay to keep certain parts of yourself private. Protecting your vulnerability also means setting boundaries not just with others, but with yourself. It's about resisting the urge to overshare in moments of emotional overwhelm. It's about recognizing that not every thought or feeling needs to be expressed to someone else. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is sit with your emotions, process them on your own or with a trusted confidant, and honor them in a way that doesn't require external validation. There's strength in discretion. When you choose to protect your vulnerability, you're taking ownership of your story. You're saying, this is mine, and I get to decide who gets to be a part of it. You're not allowing external pressures or societal norms to dictate how much of yourself you reveal. You're asserting your right to privacy, your right to hold certain parts of yourself sacred. Setting healthy boundaries is one of the most empowering acts of self-respect you can practice. It's about creating a space around yourself where your emotional and mental well-being are protected. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you from the world. They are bridges that connect you to others in ways that feel safe, meaningful, and authentic. They define what is acceptable and unacceptable in how others treat you and how you treat yourself. And when it comes to sharing your personal life, boundaries become even more essential. In our relationships, whether they are with friends, family, or colleagues, there is often an unspoken pressure to share parts of ourselves to foster connection. Society has conditioned us to believe that vulnerability without limits is the key to building intimacy. But the truth is, genuine connection doesn't come from sharing everything, it comes from sharing intentionally. When you set healthy boundaries, you take control of the narrative of your life. You decide what parts of your story you want to share, with whom, and in what context. Sharing selectively doesn't mean being secretive or closed off. It means understanding the value of your experiences and being intentional about how you share them. There are people in your life who might not have the capacity to hold space for your story in a way that honors your emotions and experiences. This doesn't make them bad people. It simply means that their ability to provide support is limited. By setting boundaries, you protect yourself from disappointment, misunderstandings, and even betrayal. The first step in setting boundaries is understanding your own needs. Ask yourself what you are comfortable sharing and what feels too personal. Reflect on the moments when you shared something and later regretted it. What made you feel that way? Was it the person you shared with, the way they responded, or the timing of your disclosure? These moments hold valuable lessons about where your boundaries might need to be strengthened. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about taking responsibility for your own well-being. It's about recognizing that not everyone is entitled to know your innermost thoughts and feelings. Sometimes we feel obligated to share because we fear being perceived as distant, guarded, or untrusting. But protecting your personal life isn't about mistrust, it's about discernment. It's about recognizing that not everyone in your life has earned the right to access the deepest parts of you. There will be times when people will push against your boundaries, either intentionally or unintentionally. They might ask probing questions or pressure you to share more than you're comfortable with. In these moments, it's important to remember that you have the right to say no, to redirect the conversation, or to simply change the subject. Boundaries are not about being rude or dismissive. They're about honoring your own comfort and emotional safety. Setting boundaries also requires clarity in communication. Sometimes we assume that others should just know what we're comfortable with, but that's not always the case. If someone crosses a boundary, it's essential to communicate your feelings calmly and assertively. Let them know what you are and aren't comfortable sharing. Most people will respect your honesty if it's delivered with kindness and firmness. And for those who don't, their reactions are more about them than they are about you. One of the most liberating aspects of setting healthy boundaries is that it allows you to reclaim your emotional energy. When you are selective about what you share and with whom, you free yourself from the emotional exhaustion that comes from overexposure. You stop feeling drained by people who aren't capable of reciprocating the depth of your openness. Instead, you can direct that energy toward relationships that are truly fulfilling and supportive. Boundaries are also about timing. There are moments in life when you might feel ready to share a particular experience and moments when you might not. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to sit with your story until you're ready to share it in a way that feels safe and empowering. You don't owe anyone immediate access to your emotions or experiences. By respecting your own timeline, you take control of how your story unfolds and how it's received by others. Discerning trustworthiness is one of the most critical aspects of protecting your personal life. Trust is not something that can be given lightly or assumed. It is something that must be earned over time through consistent actions and shared experiences. When you share the deeper, more personal parts of yourself, you are extending a gift to someone. But that gift should only be given to those who have demonstrated that they are capable of treating it with the respect and care it deserves. Not everyone in your life will have the capacity to hold space for your vulnerability. This doesn't make them unworthy as people. It simply means that they might not be the right person to confide in. Recognizing who is trustworthy requires patience and observation. It's about paying attention to how someone responds in moments of honesty, how they treat the stories of others, and how they navigate their own vulnerabilities. Trustworthy people are those who demonstrate empathy, consistency, and a genuine interest in understanding you without judgment or exploitation. One of the most telling indicators of trustworthiness is how someone handles information. Pay attention to how they talk about others when they're with you. Do they share details of other people's personal lives without permission? Do they gossip or expose others' vulnerabilities for the sake of entertainment or attention? If they do, it's a clear sign that they may not handle your personal life with the care it deserves. Trustworthy individuals respect the confidentiality of what is shared with them and do not use it as a tool for personal gain or manipulation. Another key aspect of discerning trustworthiness is observing how someone reacts to vulnerability. Do they listen with empathy, or do they respond with judgment or dismissal? Do they try to fix the situation without truly understanding your perspective, or do they sit with you in your emotions, offering support without trying to control the narrative? Trustworthy people understand that vulnerability is not a problem to be solved, but a connection to be honored. They make you feel seen, heard, and valued without diminishing your experience or turning it into an opportunity to center themselves. Trustworthiness is also built on consistency. It's not about grand gestures or words of reassurance. It's about showing up in the small, everyday moments that matter. Does the person keep their word? Are they dependable when you need them? Do they demonstrate integrity in their actions even when no one is watching? Consistency over time is one of the clearest indicators that someone is worthy of your trust. It's easy to say the right things in a single moment, but trust is built through a pattern of reliable and respectful behavior. When it comes to sharing your personal life, it's also important to recognize your own role in the process of trust building. Sometimes we want so desperately to feel connected to someone that we overlook red flags or rush into sharing too much too soon. We might mistake charm for trustworthiness or confuse shared interests with emotional safety. Taking the time to build a foundation of trust allows you to see a person for who they truly are, rather than who you hope they will be. Discerning trustworthiness also means being attuned to how someone handles conflict or difficult conversations. Do they remain respectful and open, or do they become defensive or dismissive? Trustworthy people can navigate disagreements without resorting to personal attacks or betrayal. They are willing to engage in honest dialogue and work through challenges without using your vulnerabilities against you. This ability to maintain respect and care, even in moments of tension, is a crucial element of trust. It's important to remember that trust is not an all or nothing concept. It exists on a spectrum and can deepen or erode over time. Someone might be trustworthy in certain areas, but not in others. For example, a colleague might be reliable and supportive in professional matters, but may not be the right person to confide in about your personal struggles. Recognizing these distinctions allows you to set appropriate boundaries and share selectively based on the context and nature of the relationship. Lastly, discerning trustworthiness is not about perfection. No one is flawless, and even the most trustworthy people will make mistakes. What matters is how they handle those moments of failure. Do they take accountability? Do they make an effort to repair the trust that was broken? Trustworthy individuals are those who are willing to grow and learn from their missteps, proving through their actions that they are committed to maintaining a safe and respectful connection. The culture of oversharing has become a defining feature of the modern age, where the lines between private and public life are often blurred. Social media platforms have created a space where sharing has become a currency for validation, attention, and connection. While there is value in self-expression and being open, oversharing can dilute the boundaries of privacy, leaving individuals exposed and emotionally vulnerable in ways they might not have anticipated. Avoiding the pitfalls of oversharing is not about being secretive, but about protecting your dignity, privacy, and emotional energy. Oversharing often stems from a desire to be seen and understood. Humans are hardwired for connection, and sharing parts of our lives can feel like a way to bridge gaps between ourselves and others. However, the impulse to share everything without discernment can lead to unintended consequences. When you share deeply personal aspects of your life with an audience that may not have the emotional maturity or capacity to engage with your vulnerability, you risk feeling dismissed, judged, or even exploited. There is a distinct difference between being open and oversharing. Being open involves making thoughtful choices about what to share, with whom, and why. It's about connecting authentically in ways that foster trust and mutual understanding. Oversharing, on the other hand, often occurs impulsively without consideration of the potential impact on yourself or others. It may be driven by a need for attention, a moment of emotional overwhelm, or a misunderstanding of the boundaries required for healthy interactions. One of the challenges of avoiding oversharing is the pressure to conform to societal norms that celebrate radical transparency. There is an unspoken expectation that sharing more equals being more authentic. This is especially true in a world where influencers, celebrities, and even ordinary individuals are rewarded with likes, comments, and followers for exposing intimate details of their lives. However, the reality is that authenticity is not measured by the volume of what you share, but by the integrity of how and why you share it. Authenticity is about being true to yourself, not about exposing yourself indiscriminately. Oversharing can also create a false sense of connection. When you share personal details with a wide audience, you may receive immediate feedback in the form of comments or messages, which can feel like support or understanding. However, this feedback is often surface level and temporary. True connection is built through mutual respect, trust, and shared experiences, not through fleeting interactions that come from revealing too much too soon. Another consequence of oversharing is the potential for your personal experiences to be misunderstood or misused. When you share deeply personal information, you open yourself up to the interpretations, opinions, and judgments of others. Not everyone will approach your vulnerability with kindness or empathy. Some may use your openness against you, while others may trivialize or distort your experiences. This can lead to feelings of regret, betrayal, or a sense of losing control over your narrative. Avoiding oversharing requires a commitment to self-awareness and boundary setting. It starts with understanding your own motivations for sharing. Are you sharing because it feels meaningful and purposeful, or are you seeking validation or relief from emotional discomfort? By pausing to reflect on your intentions, you can make more intentional choices about what to share and with whom. This practice of self-reflection allows you to maintain control over your personal story and ensures that you are sharing in ways that feel empowering rather than exposing. Boundaries are essential for navigating the urge to overshare. They provide a framework for deciding what aspects of your life you want to keep private and what you are comfortable sharing. Boundaries are not rigid rules, but flexible guidelines that can evolve over time based on your relationships, experiences, and personal growth. When you have clear boundaries, you can navigate conversations and interactions with confidence, knowing that you are protecting your emotional well-being. It's also important to recognize that not every moment or experience needs to be shared. Some parts of your life are meant to be private, to be processed internally or within the safe confines of a trusted relationship. Privacy is not a barrier to connection. It is a way of honoring the depth and complexity of your experiences. By keeping certain aspects of your life private, you create space for self-reflection and growth, allowing yourself to process emotions and challenges without external pressure or scrutiny. In a culture that often glorifies openness without limits, choosing not to overshare can feel countercultural or even isolating. But there is strength in discretion. By resisting the impulse to overshare, you reclaim your narrative and maintain control over how your story is told. You protect your dignity and ensure that your vulnerability is shared only with those who have earned your trust and respect. Maintaining inner strength is about cultivating a relationship with yourself where you can find stability, resilience, and confidence in your own identity without relying on external validation or approval. It means recognizing that some parts of your life are meant to remain yours alone, to serve as the foundation of your emotional and mental well-being. These private aspects of your life are not secrets to be hidden out of shame or fear, but sacred spaces that help ground you in who you are. In a world that often encourages external validation, where achievements, struggles, and even personal milestones are regularly shared for public acknowledgement, it's easy to feel that keeping parts of yourself private is somehow wrong or outdated. However, inner strength is not something that grows through constant exposure or validation from others. It flourishes when you nurture and protect it, allowing yourself the space to process, reflect, and grow without external interference. One of the cornerstones of inner strength is self-awareness. When you take the time to understand your own emotions, values, and needs, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. This clarity allows you to determine which aspects of your life you feel comfortable sharing and which are better kept private. By maintaining this distinction, you create a sense of stability within yourself. You're no longer swayed by the opinions or expectations of others because you've built a foundation of self-trust and self-knowledge. Inner strength also comes from self-reliance, the ability to navigate life's challenges and uncertainties without feeling the need to broadcast your struggles for sympathy or attention. It's not about isolating yourself or refusing help when you need it, but about finding confidence in your ability to face difficulties with grace and resilience. When you keep certain parts of your personal life private, you give yourself the space to work through them on your own terms, without the added pressure of external judgment or advice. Another aspect of inner strength is emotional regulation. When you choose to keep some parts of your life private, you take ownership of your emotions, giving yourself the freedom to process them without external influences. This doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring your feelings. It means allowing yourself to sit with them, to understand them, and to learn from them. When you share your emotions too freely with others, especially those who may not be equipped to handle them, you risk diluting your own understanding of what you're going through. Maintaining privacy allows you to hold space for your emotions in a way that fosters growth and healing. Protecting your private life also reinforces the idea that you are enough on your own. When you stop seeking validation from others for every aspect of your life, you begin to see your own worth independent of external opinions. This realization is a powerful source of inner strength because it frees you from the constant need for approval. You can take pride in your achievements, learn from your struggles, and grow from your experiences without feeling the need to put them on display. Inner strength also involves setting boundaries with yourself and others. It's about recognizing when you're tempted to share too much and asking yourself why. Are you seeking validation, attention, or relief from emotional discomfort? By understanding your motivations, you can make more intentional choices about what to share and what to keep private. This practice of self-restraint is not about denying connection, but about fostering a deeper, more meaningful relationship with yourself. In maintaining inner strength, you also create a sense of mystery and depth about your life. When you keep certain parts of yourself private, you cultivate a presence that is not entirely accessible to others, which can lead to stronger, more authentic relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who have a sense of self-containment, who don't feel the need to reveal everything to be seen or understood. This self-containment is not about withholding, but about protecting the parts of you that are most personal and precious. Inner strength is further reinforced by your ability to prioritize your own growth over external opinions. When you keep parts of your life private, you give yourself the freedom to explore your own thoughts, feelings, and experiences without the weight of others' expectations. This privacy creates a safe space for you to make mistakes, to learn, and to evolve in ways that feel authentic to you. By focusing on your own journey, rather than seeking validation or comparison, you build a foundation of confidence and self-respect that can weather any storm. Privacy is a powerful act of self-respect and empowerment. In a world where sharing has become a norm and oversharing often feels like a requirement, choosing to keep parts of your life private is a declaration of your value. It is a way of saying that not every detail of your life is for public consumption, and not everyone is entitled to your personal experiences, thoughts, or emotions. Privacy is not about hiding. It is about holding certain parts of yourself sacred, preserving your dignity, and protecting your peace. When you choose privacy, you reclaim control over your life narrative. It's easy to feel pressure to share, whether through social media, casual conversations, or even in close relationships. Society often equates openness with authenticity, but true authenticity comes from living in alignment with your values, not from exposing every aspect of your life. By maintaining your privacy, you take charge of what you share, when you share it, and with whom. This deliberate approach allows you to shape how your story is told and ensures that it is done on your terms. Privacy also strengthens your boundaries. It gives you the confidence to say no when someone crosses a line or demands more of you than you're willing to give. Boundaries are not just about limiting others, they're about protecting yourself. They allow you to create a safe space where your emotional, mental, and metaphysical well-being are prioritized. When you honor your privacy, you reinforce those boundaries, sending a clear message that your personal life is not open for unsolicited opinions, judgment, or intrusion. Another benefit of privacy is the peace it brings. When you're selective about what you share, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that can come from overexposure. Sharing personal details often invites others' opinions, advice, or even criticism, which can be overwhelming and unnecessary. By keeping certain parts of your life private, you avoid this noise and create room for self-reflection and internal growth. This peace allows you to focus on what truly matters to you without the distraction of external influences. Privacy also fosters deeper connections. While it might seem counterintuitive, sharing less can actually strengthen your relationships. When you reserve your most personal thoughts and experiences for those who have earned your trust, you create bonds built on mutual respect and understanding. These connections are more meaningful because they're not based on superficial exchanges or oversharing. Instead, they are rooted in the genuine exchange of trust and care. In choosing privacy, you also protect yourself from misunderstandings and misuse of your personal information. Not everyone you share with will have the capacity or the intention to honor your vulnerability. Some might misinterpret your words, use them against you, or spread them beyond your intended audience. Privacy acts as a safeguard, ensuring that your personal experiences remain within the boundaries of those you trust. It gives you the freedom to be open and honest with the right people while maintaining your dignity and kitty. Another aspect of privacy is the freedom it grants you to explore and evolve without external pressure. When you keep parts of your life private, you give yourself the space to try, fail, and grow without feeling the need to justify your choices to others. Privacy allows you to make mistakes and learn from them in a way that feels safe and personal. It protects your journey of self-discovery and ensures that your growth is guided by your own values rather than the expectations or judgments of others. Choosing privacy is also an act of self-care. It's a way of protecting your energy and ensuring that you're not constantly drained by sharing too much. Every time you share a piece of yourself, you give away a little bit of your energy. When you're selective about what you share, you conserve that energy for the people and experiences that truly matter. This balance allows you to nurture your own well-being and focus on the aspects of your life that bring you joy and fulfillment. Lastly, privacy reinforces the importance of self-worth. It reminds you that you are valuable not because of what you share, but because of who you are. Your life, your experiences, and your emotions are precious, and not everyone deserves access to them. By choosing privacy, you affirm your own value and protect the parts of yourself that make you unique. It is a way of honoring your own worth and ensuring that you remain in control of your story. In a world that often encourages sharing as a form of connection and validation, protecting your personal life is an act of empowerment and self-respect. By setting boundaries, discerning trustworthiness, and avoiding the pitfalls of oversharing, you create space for inner strength, personal growth, and deeper, more meaningful relationships. Privacy is not about hiding, but about honoring your dignity, safeguarding your emotional well-being, and preserving the sacred aspects of your life. Remember, your story is yours to tell, and choosing when and how to share it is one of the most profound ways to maintain control, peace, and authenticity in your life.